Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your weekly DMV sports update, and I'm your host, Candi CWall Waller, checking in as I do all throughout the year to give you the latest and greatest information that's going on in sports in the Washington metropolitan area. You all, it is Women's History Month, and I do have a very special guest joining me because, of course, you all know you're used to seeing me on the Washington Commanders update. I get it, I know. But listen, there's more other things that I love to discuss involving the sports industry. And I know some major trailblazing women in the industry that I just say, hey, when I get a moment away, come and sit down with me and let's have a conversation and chat with our Bowie television audience. So I am super duper excited, you all, to bring on Dr. Tabia Pope. She has over 10 years of experience as a certified sports speech language pathologist, health communication specialist. She's a sought after public speaker, media personality, best-selling author, social impact branding consultant, and sports philanthropist. I had to put these words up on the screen because you all need to understand when I bring somebody on the show, I'm going to bring somebody on the show. It's a lot. All of these things in one person. Trust me, I cannot wait for you all to meet her. She is the president and CEO of Head to Speech Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to athlete brain health, sports concussions, and their effects on cognitive communication skills. She served as a Black Men's Brain Health Conference emerging scholar during the 2024-2025 Super Bowl weeks. She currently researches the integration of brain health and cognitive communication into the physical exercise, career, and life skills and activities of daily living of elite football players transitioning from collegiate and professional football leagues. She is also a clinical instructor at the University of the District of Columbia and serves as one of the coordinators of the Brain Lab. She is also the owner of, I know you're probably like, also, there's more. Yes, there's more. She is also the owner of BIA Communications, a social impact branding, communication skills, and image enhancement consultancy, helping social entrepreneurs align their brands with social impact in the image, communications, health, wellness, sports, and lifestyle industries. And guess what else, you all? She is a Bowie resident right here in our home base, in our hometown. Hi, Dr. Pope.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Candi. Thank you so much. That's right. Bowie, right here, Bowie, Maryland.
That is right. That is right. So
Right.
I always get so delighted when I'm reading your bio or when I'm in your presence overall because you are hitting on some very important topics that we really don't talk about, right? We love sports, we
Mm-hmm.
watch sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all entertainment. We love it. We enjoy it. Some of us, we all work in the industry,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really about health. And sometimes think about health in terms of just the athletic ability and the talent of the health, not understanding that it all starts with our brains. So
Yes. And
let's
that's
start
actually
with you.
first I want to say thank you so much, Candi, for being so supportive as
Absolutely.
well. But that's actually how I started to connect what I do with speech pathology with sports. I was watching football with my husband, and I was asking myself, what are speech pathologists doing about sports concussions, athlete brain health. And this was in 2000 and around 2014.
Mhm.
So, a lot of what we hear now and what we know about the movement of brain health and being proactive about player health and safety, I've kind of gone through that transition from from 2014 to now, and I've seen it grow. I've seen the conversation grow, but I've also had to create, not found Head to Speech to create an opportunity to talk, a platform to talk about these issues from a speech pathologist perspective. And so it was so important for me to bring interprofessionals, a team of interprofessionals, a task force together, that we could be collective in talking about this. So thank you so much for supporting that interprofessional movement from a speech pathology perspective.
Absolutely. I like to consider myself a connector. I think I was sharing that with you, and it's as people are talking, it's like, wait. Well, that's actually how we met, through a connector, right? Through Monique Smith. So we got to shout her out.
Yes, thank you.
And then she said, "Wait, you live in Bowie? Don't you live in Bowie? Don't you live in Bowie? I need to meet in Bowie so we can talk." And then you just hit it off ever since. And with that being said, let's jump into your initiative. Ready, Set, Head to Speech. Tell our viewing audience all about Head to Speech.
Well, Head to Speech is headquartered here in Bowie, Maryland, in Prince George's County, but we are a national organization. So we are affiliated with the American Speech Language Hearing Association as a continuing education provider for speech pathologists. But we are a nonprofit dedicated to athlete brain health, sports concussions, and their effects on cognitive communication skills. So what that means is that we are looking at bridging the gap and closing that gap between athletics and communication sciences. People don't really, they're like, cognitive communication. Well, those are the things that we do every day. Like those guys, like attention, memory, problem solving, sequencing, planning, organization, social communication. Like that is what we do every day. And so when you have a concussion, or when you have difficulty in those areas, it really does impact your everyday life, returning to play, returning to learning, returning to your career. And so how that impacts the athletic community, we really try to think about working with athletic trainers, being more involved with those like yourself that are on the front lines of player health and safety, and bringing that information to the public and raising awareness together, so we can close that gap. We can make sure that we connect with communities, really integrate. I think integration is one of those areas where we have to integrate the cognitive health, the cognitive well-being into the athlete's everyday routine. It's not something extra. It has to be integrated into what they do. And we have to find time. The athletes have to find the time to work on these cognitive skills. They're already doing it while they're working out, but I don't think they're really connecting that brain and body connection all the time, being more intentional about what they're doing, and having someone to point out like how you can do it even greater for the better sports performance, right? How to make that even greater. So dual tasking, and just ultimately career pathways. We need more, even within sports careers. I was just at Bowie University. I'm gonna give a shout out to Bowie State
That's right.
University, Dr. Fulmore and her sports management class, because I was really talking about the bottom line in brain health and in sports careers. And we need more professionals and students in sports careers, as well as sports speech pathology, to make that connection into brain health. How does brain health impact every sports career? We talk about it all. Like, how does it impact agents? How does it impact, the people that are in working with the helmets, right? All of those careers have a role in brain health, right? And we just have to have more conversation around it, and not be so, thinking about like a lot of the talk is mental health right now, to be honest. Right? I see a lot of talk about mental health and being more of like the reactive piece to it. But I'm talking about proactive. Like, what can we do? Prehabilitation, being proactive, and making sure that we are raising awareness, we're giving education. So when something does happen, the player and their community, because we're a sports community, we can't do it by ourselves, right? The sports community knows, what it looks like, has a vocabulary, and is increasing their own knowledge to know what to do in those situations and who to go to.
So I'm definitely gonna bring this up because this is where we first interviewed on Radio Row, between in front of the Bowie TV sign, and we had the two Bowie girls up here talking about
Big
what we
time
do in
at the Super
sports.
Bowl.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Steadily promoting Bowie and just talking about what we do, because sometimes I think people don't realize just how many women are in the industry doing various things across the board. And so I was learning a lot from you that day and continue to. So can you share when you're out there what you're doing? And so this is one of the pictures from when you're out there.
Yes, when I am first, I am a part of this Black Men's Brain Health conference that happens every year during the Super Bowl. There's also a player networking event as well during that time for active and retired players as well to connect. Yeah, but it's really about being, like I said, being proactive, bringing those together in the space of brain health and various careers, right? So in brain health, from neurologists to speech pathologists, right? So all these people that are scientists, that are supporters and rooted in the community. So that is what we preach at, that is rooted in the community, is rooted, in that. And so we listen to those that are in the community and are being able to provide us with more information, how to serve the football players, the retired professional football players, with their brain health. And so I have truly gained so much from being an emerging scholar. I'm currently working on my own research as well as a result of being a part of this program. And now I'm just so ready to get more of that information out there to the public once it, as we're doing the study.
So that is probably a full week for you, for
Yes.
sure. And I wanted to highlight then another initiative that's actually like a sports NFL philanthropic
Yes.
initiative with My Cause, My Cleats. You had a
Yes.
NFL player wearing head to speech cleats.
Oh my goodness. Well, first I have to get a shout out to Aaron, Aaron Crawford, who serves on the Head to Speech Board of Directors. He was instrumental in getting Head to Speech for My Cause, My Cleats this year in 2025. And Chaz Surratt of the New York Jets wore our cleats. And I was just so thankful that we were able to have this national exposure about what we do at Head to Speech and why our mission is so needed. And it's so timely as well, right? It's so timely in that we're going in the community and raising awareness and getting athletes and in their community to understand cognitive health and like that cognitive well-being. I think when we think of athletes, we have to think of that total well-being. And that's really important to us at Head to Speech is looking at the athlete from a more holistic standpoint, right? And their player health and safety. So I'm just so thankful. We really have some great board members at Head to Speech, and just also great advisors like yourself and those that really are being very instrumental in being proactive about player health and safety.
Now, before we get to like the next event that's coming up, I know you mentioned a moment ago, because I think this would be helpful to some of our students,
Yes.
right, that watch the show or may be
Yes.
interested in learning more about this. You mentioned career pathways
Yes.
earlier, that you had been doing some work over at Bowie State University. So can you share a bit more about the career pathways work you're doing?
Yes, we've had several interns from, like I said, sports careers in sports speech pathology that are interested in learning more about brain health, making sure that they're working as an ambassador, that they are an ambassador of the organization. And we help, we support students, but also student athletes. And so student athletes are essentially get the information at no cost to them, right? So any event that we have, our brain workouts, our summit, student athletes are invited at no cost to them, because we truly believe, and I truly founded the organization to make sure that there was no barrier there for student athletes to get the information that they needed about their cognitive well-being and brain health, and giving them the information that they need through care packages and brain workouts. And so the career pathways is for students, but also student athletes as well that need to get their hours, for their community service hours. We've had several, interns go on and do great things. And so we're just looking for more ambassadors in the community. Just need more ambassadors, period.
So you mentioned a summit.
Yes.
So upcoming. You have something big going on. So please share about the 4th annual Head to Speech Summit.
You know what? I can't believe that this is actually our 4th summit. We're in our 4th year as an organization, and this summit this year is going to be online. So it was very strategic because we really want to make sure that there's no barrier for anyone that wants to come, right? And so you could be anywhere, 100% online, joining us for this virtual summit this year. And you're speaking as well. So we have some great people, great speakers speaking this year. But the theme this year is the critical role of cognitive health and concussion management for men and women football players. And so our keynote speaker is Patrice Bowman, also known as Coach Pap of the DC Divas. And Coach Pap has really been one of those, since we've met, has been very supportive of Head to Speech. Head to Speech has worked with the DC Divas, providing brain health education. We talked about sports concussions, and we're actually having our Brain Health Sports and Fitness Expo in collaboration with DC Divas this year on April 6th. But the summit is on April 5th, which is a Saturday, and it's all day. We have some great speakers. We have our MC, which is our board member, Glenn, and he will be our MC. You MC'd last year, and you did a fantastic job. Yes.
It was a lot of fun. I learned so much.
Yeah, you did an amazing job in sharing your story, and sharing from your perspective, someone that's in the sports media and your perspective. So I'm really looking forward to our fireside chat, this year. And do you want to tell them a little bit of what our fireside chat is?
Yeah, our fireside chat. So, and this kind of this aligns, right? Because folks that are watching are used to seeing me talk about the Washington Commanders. So, the day of the Tennessee Titans game this past season, Dr. Seals, the NFL chief medical officer, came to the game, and so before that, we did a whole tour of the player health and safety protocols that they do at every single NFL stadium before every single game. And he walked us through everything. And of course, I took a special lens on the head injury, concussion part of the conversation. And so for Dr. Pope's summit, for the Head to Speech Summit on April 5th, I'm going to share what I learned there. And then, of course, talk to Dr. Pope. No spoiler alerts here, you all, but we're talking to Dr. Pope about, based on the advances that the NFL has made, because we know concussions, are a thing, right, in sports. And so based on the advancements the NFL has made, what education can still be done and still needs to be done to talk about their proactive brain health and have more proactive, just it's an enhancement to the work that's being done. But just
Yes.
because there's advancements doesn't mean the work is done, if that makes
Yes. Yes, there's so much more work to
sense.
always be done, right? And but it's great knowing that we're in the right direction.
Mhm.
Right. And that and I'm looking forward to also hearing from, we have Cherise May, we have Lori Curtis, we have Jeremiah Brown, we have Lynn Phillips. We have a whole lineup of speakers, also exhibitors too, that are doing the research in the athletic community, whether it be student athletes, whether it be mental health, and also working with retired players' wives, and researching, doing research with them on their perspective. So we have a lot of great exhibitors, speakers, and events, like I said, as well.
And so you just mentioned retired players' wives. Talk a little bit more before we close out, because we talk about the community, we talk about our role
Mhm,
as experts in different areas, but
mhm.
it's really the family and the
Yes,
friends, the people who are home with
yes.
the men and women who have to deal with a brain injury. So talk about what you've learned in engaging with the in-home supporters of
Yes.
folks who have had to deal with brain injury.
A lot of what I've learned from the Black men's brain health experience as well is that being an athlete is such a rooted in like the athlete identity,
Mhm.
right? And that those around the athlete have to realize that they also need to help that athlete make a transition, because it's going to be a transition regardless of if you go to the NFL or you are transitioning out of college, out of collegiate. There's going to be a transition. It's going to come, right?
Mhm.
And so the support networks are very important in helping that athlete think about their next steps and supporting them, not only their career transition, but also if they have sustained a concussion or they've had multiple concussions, or being proactive about their brain health and getting them to do those brain workouts that we're talking about, getting them involved earlier rather than later. Remember, I said being proactive rather than being reactive.
Mhm.
So everyone has a role in brain health, regardless of what they think of it not. And so we need more of the family members, the supporters, the coaches, the strength and conditioning coaches, those that are around the athlete to actually buy into brain health, buy into the proactiveness of what we're doing. You don't have to wait until your player has a concussion to seek out education and get the help that your players need, because once you are supporting them earlier, they'll have that better understanding of their brain and body connection, right? And then they'll also think about, well, what are these cognitive skills that I can integrate into my warm-ups, my sports drills, my physical exercise, and my daily activity is going to actually support, prevent, or reduce the cognitive decline that I may have if I have a sports concussion. So you're building that muscle, right, of doing the cognitive piece earlier. So if you do have a concussion, it's not going to hit you so hard, and you'll know what to do, who to go to, and you'll have the language of, if you do have some of these symptoms, that you are not going crazy, and it's going to decrease that depression, that mental anxiety, and even suicidal behaviors. It will decrease that because you are educated and you know what to do and who to go to get that support.
Listen, that is just all that we're talking about is really just a kind of precursor, if you will, to the fourth annual Head to Speech Summit. Here's the information here, Dr. Pope. Where
Yes.
can they find more information online? Where can they follow
Yes, they can go
you?
to headtospeech.org. So if you go to headtospeech.org and you hit summit, it will take you to the registration page and you'll be able to register. You can also follow us, Head to Speech, on Instagram, Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn. So I'm really big on LinkedIn. So if you connect with me on LinkedIn, let me know who you are, and how we're connected, that you saw our interview, and just reach out. Like I said, I'm here in Bowie. I have two boys who are active. My husband is a retired professional basketball player. He played 9 years overseas. And so we are here. We're rooted in Prince George's County. This is our home. And so we are here to service. Before I go, I do want to give a shout out to the Ivy Vine cohort that I just graduated from, the Ivy Vine, Ivy Community Charities of Prince George's County. I just want to give a shout out because I would not be here without their support, the Ivy Vine. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the Ivy Vine and Iota Gamma Omega as well.
Well, Dr. Pope, thank you so much for joining me. Happy Women's History Month to you.
Thank you. And happy Women's History Month to you too.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And so listen, Bowie TV watchers, definitely a different flavor than what you're used to from me. But guess what? We had to shake it up a bit because this really is a great Bowie-based business organization with a phenomenal leader, as you all can see. She gave you all her information. Make sure you go and check out headtospeech.org and click on Summit and join us for the April 5th Summit. But you all, that concludes the show for today. Thank you so much. And as you all know, I will be talking to you all again soon.